Bucks, I am going to separate from bucklings and wethers to try to keep this concise. Our bucks Nigerian dwarves, they get about 1.5 to 2 cups twice a day. This varies by season. It is largely affected by they get more in cold weather, they get more in rut. They don't seem to need as much once the weather warms up, and so it varies by season. Now, bear in mind when you bring a goat home, transition of grain should be gradual, so come home with enough to last you at least a week. Honestly, it's ideal. It depends on how much they're getting. Bucks aren't getting that much, so you can get by with 4 days worth of grain, but ask the person you're purchasing from for that 4 days worth of grain. Otherwise, you kind of have to start them at 0, a day without grain, and then very gradually introduce your grain because their rumen needs time to adjust. So I highly recommend come home with grain from the breeder and use the amount that they've been giving as they get home. But bear in mind, when you bring them home, they might be running around more than they were previously, or they might be running around less. They might be closer to does and therefore more rut-like behaviors, or they might be further away from does and therefore less rut-like behaviors. They might get along really well with the companion that you introduce them to, whether that's a wether, etc. All of these things are examples of how it's going to be different when they reach your property. So put your hands on them. Their hair is long. Especially with bucks, don't trust your eye because their hair is very long and it can hide a multitude of sins. I think running your hands along their spine twice a week is pretty minimum. It should keep you from dangerous body condition score changes. They do pee all over themselves, especially in rut, so we use nitrile gloves for when they're gross. They're every bit as sweet as the rest of your herd. In fact, that's a part of it, is they'll be covered in urine and they want to come up and rub up against you for pets. Most of them are very sweet. They should be sweet. Don't use an aggressive buck. You'll pass aggressive skills. You'll pass aggressive genetics. And that more or less summarizes bucks. As I said, I'll do wethers and bucklings in a separate video.